पवित्रवतु।
Good afternoon, students. This is Sachin Achrekar over here. Today we are going to discuss a topic called cost of capital. This cost of capital is one of the most important topic in financial management, and this topic is going to follow you till you become a chartered accountant and obvious thereafter. So today we are here to discuss just the basic concept of cost of capital. Now here we will be discussing what is the meaning of cost of capital, how we are going to determine cost of equity, how we are going to determine cost of debt, and how we are going to determine cost of preference shares. Now before coming to cost of capital, as we know, whenever we want to start a business, we need a capital, right? We need a capital, and this capital we raise from two sources. First is called as own fund, and second is called as borrowed fund. There are two sources, own fund and borrowed fund. Own fund include equity capital as well as preference capital, whereas borrowed fund include debentures. Now company has to decide before investing in any project which capital they should select. May company go with only equity, may company go only with preference, may company go only with debentures, or company may select equity or preference, equity or debenture, or preference or debenture, and may company may select equity, preference and debenture. So today we are here how we are going to calculate cost. As whenever companies are raising equity fund, debentures, preference, companies are supposed to pay cost. For example, companies have issued a debentures. So companies are supposed to pay interest on debenture. This interest is called as cost of debenture, and therefore we call it as cost of capital. Same with equity, same with preference. In case of equity and preference, we pay what? Dividend. Dividend is a cost of capital. Which capital? Own capital. So here we are there today just to discuss what is cost of capital. Let's see the meaning of cost of capital. Now what is cost of capital? Cost of capital is nothing but it is a minimum rate of return. It's a minimum rate of return firm must earn on its investment. Firm must earn on its investment, which will give or which will maintain the market value of a share at its current level. Now, just this is a simple introduction of cost of capital. Now we will be discussing how we are going to calculate cost of debt, how we are going to calculate cost of equity, and how we are going to calculate cost of preference. Whenever a company want to raise a fund, companies are having a judgment that by investing in this particular projects, companies are going to get this kind of return. So obvious, whenever companies are getting any fund, they will always keep in mind my cost should not be more than investments, return on investments. If the cost is more than return on investment, it is of no use in investing in the company, investing in the projects, right? But if the cost is less than return, in such case, company can think of investing in the project. Why? Because here the company will be getting a net return, right? Now here we are just going to learn how we are going to determine the cost of debt. Let's start with cost of debt. Now, cost of debt, we can consider it is a debenture which is considered as, or we can denote as K. K stands for cost and D stands for debentures. As we know, we normally pay interest before tax, right? So in case of cost of debenture, here we are having two forms. One is called as cost of debt, that is called as KD before tax, and KD after tax. KD after tax. Here also again we are having two parts. As we know, debts are of two types. Debts are of two types. Which are two types? One is redeemable debt, and second is called as a irredeemable debt. Irredeemable debt, you know, they are called as a perpetual debt. The payments are made only at the time of winding up the company, right? And in case of redeemable debt, the payments are made only after a specific period of time. It may be 5 years, it may be 10 years, it may be 15 years, depend upon the period of debentures, right? Now, here, now we are going to discuss how we are going to calculate cost of debt in case if it is redeemable. Now remember one thing, whenever you are calculating cost of debt, you are going to calculate it is before tax as well as after tax. As I told you now only, here we are having how many debentures? Here we are having two debentures. One is called as redeemable debt and second is called as irredeemable debt. Now today we are here to learn how we are going to calculate debt in case of irredeemable and how we are going to calculate KD in case if it is redeemable. Now whenever we talk about debt, we are going to calculate KD before tax and KD after tax. Right beta? KD before tax and KD after tax. Here also we are having two concepts. Since it is a debt, here also we are going to calculate KD before tax and KD after tax. Now we are going to discuss one by one how we are going to calculate cost of debt in case if the debentures are irredeemable and how we are going to calculate cost of debt in case if the debentures are irredeemable. Let's see the formula. Now how we are going to derive the cost of debt in case if the debts are irredeemable. Right beta? Now let us see. Debts are what? It is irredeemable, right? Which is called as KD. Now here we will be having two concepts. One is called as KD before tax and KD after tax. Now whenever you want to calculate cost of debt in case if the debentures are redeemable, formula would be KD is equal to I upon NP into 100. This will give me cost. This will give me cost before tax. But if you want to calculate KD after tax, the formula would be KD is equal to I 1 minus C upon NP into 100. Is it okay? Now we are just going to see what is KD. Whereas KD is nothing but what? Cost of debt. In this case, it is before tax. And in this case, it is after tax. What is I? I is nothing but interest. And I hope you might be knowing that interests are calculated on face value. Even if you purchase a 100 rupees debenture at rupees 110, you are going to calculate interest on 100. And even if you purchase a debenture of 100 at 90, even if you are going to calculate interest on 100. Next part is N. Now what is NP? NP is nothing but net proceeds. NP is nothing but net proceeds. Now what is my net proceed? Net proceed is an amount which is company actually receiving from debenture holder. As I told you, debenture can be issued at par, it can be issued at premium, it can be issued at discount. If a company issued a debenture would be 100 at par, so how much companies are going to receive? 100. So my net proceed would be 100. If a company issued debenture at 10% premium, having face value of 100, so company will be receiving how much? 110. So my net proceed would be 110. If the company issue 100 rupees debenture, this 10% discount, how much companies are going to receive? 90. So what is net proceed? Net proceed means the amount which company actually receiving from debenture holders. Now, and what is my T? T stand for tax. Now this is a simple formula to know or to calculate cost of irredeemable debt before tax and after tax. Now we will start. We will take an example with the help of which we will understand how we are supposed to calculate cost of debt. Let us take an example. Example number. Company issue. Company issue 10% debenture. 10% debenture of rupee how much? 100 each. 100 each. Calculate on. Calculate cost of debt, assuming tax rate 50%. Now, how we are going to solve this problem? Now, in this problem, here they have specified that company have issued 10% debenture. Now, what is 10%? 10% is nothing but rate of interest. And rupees 100 is a face value of 1 debenture. Or you can call it 1. Here they are asking calculate what? Calculate cost of debt. Cost of debt, they are not specified it is before tax or it is after tax. So we are going to calculate before tax as well as after tax. Now here also we will take a possibility. Here also we will take a possibility if debenture issued at 10% discount. This is possibility 1. Possibility B, if debenture issued at 10% premium. And third possibility we are going to take is if debenture issued at. Now these are the 3 examples we are going to solve. In this case, how companies are going to calculate the cost. Let us see now. Now only I told you, whenever we are going to calculate cost of debt, in case if they are redeemable, what is the formula? The formula is that is cost of debt, which is called as what? Which is called as KD before tax. Here we have to follow before tax and after tax form. Right, beta? Before tax and after tax form. Now, what is the formula? The formula is I upon NB into. Is it okay? Now there is a possibility number 1. Possibility number 1. What is the possibility number 1? If debenture issued at 10% discount. Right, beta? If debentures are issued at 10% discount, how we are going to solve this problem? Very simple. First of all, we have to identify what will be the amount of interest. What is I? I is nothing but interest. And interest are calculated on face value. What is my face value? 100. And how much interest we are going to calculate? 10%. So on 100 rupees, we are going to calculate 10%. It will be rupees. Right? What is NP? NP is nothing but net proceed. NP is nothing but net proceed. Now what is my net proceed? Here we are issuing debenture at. Here we are issuing debenture at 10% discount. But what is my face value? My face value is rupees 100. So we are going to deduct what? 10% discount. That is rupees 100 by 10%. It would be 10 rupee. So what will be my 90? 90 will be called as net proceed. It is also called as issue price. It is also called as issue price. So how are we going to determine the formula? That is KT is equal to I. What is my I? My I is 10 upon 90. So what will be the answer? The answer would be 10 upon 90 into 100. It will be 11.11%. So this is how we are going to calculate cost of debt if the debts are irredeemable, if they are issued at discount. The same way we are going to calculate cost of debt if debentures are issued at 10%. Everything will remain same. Everything will remain same. Except one thing. What is going to change is net proceeds. Here again, if debentures issued at what? Issued at 10%. Now what will be the formula? Here the interest will remain same. What will be the interest? Rupees 10 as we have calculated.
Yes.
What will be my net proceed? Now here the net proceeds are going to change. Now what is my face value? My face value is rupees 100. Right, beta? Now, and we are going to add what? Premium. Why? Because company is going to receive now some extra. And what is the premium? It's a 10% premium. 10% of what? 10% of my net. It will be 100. So what is my net proceed? My net proceed would be 100. Net proceed is also called as issue. Now what will my KD if debentures are issued at premium? The answer would be 10 upon 110 into. So answer would be 10 into 110. Answer would be, the cost would be 9.09. So this is how we are going to calculate KD if debentures are irredeemable and they are issued at 10%. And last one is what? If the debenture issued at if debenture issued at par, there is no problem. Only one thing will change. What will change? What is going to change? That is only net proceeds. Since debenture are issued at par means how much companies are going to receive? Companies are going to receive only rupees 100. Right here. So my net proceed is equal to face value is equal to 100. So my net proceed would be rupees 100. Let us see now how we are going to calculate KD in case before tax. What is my interest? It is 10 upon 100 into 100. So what is my KD? My KD would be 10. Is it fine. So this is how we are going to calculate KD. KD in case of irredeemable debt before tax. Now we are going to learn how we are going to calculate cost of debt after tax. Let's see the formula. Now here will be only one difference. Whatever the formula, whatever the answer you are going to calculate, whatever the debt you are going to calculate after tax. Now, what will be the formula? The formula would be I 1 minus T upon NT into 100. Now here we are going to calculate cost of debt. It's after tax. Now again, first example. What is my first example? If debenture issued at what? 10% discount. Right? Now let us again read the formula, read the short form. What is I? I stand for interest. We are going to calculate interest on base value. What is my base value? 100. So what will be the interest? Interest will be rupees. What is my net proceed? Again here, I issued a debenture at 10% discount. So we are going to deduct 10% discount. That is 100 rupees. 10% it will be 90. So my net proceed would be how much? 90. There will be only one extra item will be added over here, that is tax. And what is my tax rate? 50%. Tax rate is 50%, and we can say 0.5. Now how are we going to solve this? We are going to solve this. This is how we are going to solve. I is nothing but what? I is nothing but interest. What is my amount of interest? 10. And what is my tax rate? 1 minus 0.5. Upon what? What is my net proceed? It is 90 into 100. Right? Now 10 into 0.5, this will give me 5 upon 90 into 100. So what is my KD after tax? My KD after tax would be, it is 5.55%. This is how we are going to calculate KD after tax if the debentures are issued at 10% discount. Now again we are going to take the second possibility. If the debentures are issued at 10%. Now what is going to change? Only net proceeds. Now here my net proceed would be 110. It is rupees 100 is my face value. Rupees 10 would be my PBT. So this will give me 110. Everything will remain same as we have done if the debenture issued at discount. Let us put up the debt. Now KD after tax is equal to, what is the amount of interest? It is 10 upon how much? Premium. Is net proceed will be 110 into what? 1 minus T upon into what? 100. So this will be what? 10. What is my tax rate? It is 0.5, right? 5 upon 110 into 100. So what will my KD after tax? My KD after tax will be 5 divided by 110%. This will give me 4.54%. This is how we are going to calculate cost of debt in case if the debentures are issued at. The same calculation will be done in the third possibility. What is my third possibility? If debentures are issued at again, only one thing will change. What is that? Net proceed. Here my net proceed would be now rupees 100. Let us put up the value now. It is KD after tax. KD after tax is equal to, what is my interest? My interest is 10. Tax rate is 0.5 upon, what is my net proceed over here? 100 into 100. Now 100 because debentures are issued at, how much companies are going to receive? Only 100 rupees. So it would be how much percent? This is 5%. So this is how companies are going to calculate what? Companies are going to calculate cost of debt in case if debentures are irredeemable before tax and after tax. Is it okay? Now let us revise once again how your companies are going to calculate cost of debt. There are two kinds of debt. If debentures are redeemable, right? Here we are having two possibilities. Which are the two possibilities? Before tax and after tax. Before tax, what formula we are going to follow? It is I upon N, right? And in case of tax, I in bracket 1 minus T upon NP. This is what we are about to learn in cost of debt in case if debentures are redeemable. Let us start now how we are going to calculate cost of debt in case if debentures are redeemable. Now, here also we will be having two more concepts, before tax as well as after tax. Now, we are going to start with now redeemable key. On this scale, cost. C is nothing but debt. Here we are having again two segregation. One is what? Before tax, and second is called as after tax. Right? Now, how you are going to calculate KD before tax and how you are going to calculate KD after tax? Let's see the formula. Now, what is redeemable debt? Redeemable debt means whose payments are made after a specific period of time. Maybe 5 years, as I told you, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years, depend upon the nature of debentures. Now, let us see the formula for calculating cost of redeemable debt before tax. The formula would be KD before tax is equal to I plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon whole bracket into this will give me what? This will give me cost of debt before tax in case the debentures are redeemable. Same way after tax, the entire formula will remain same. What we are going to add is that is interest after tax. What will the formula then? The formula would be KD after tax. KD after tax is equal to I 1 minus T plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon 2 whole bracket. This will give me what? This will give me cost of debt after tax. Okay, so this is how we are going to follow. We are going to calculate cost of debt in case if the debentures are redeemable. So let us see what is the formula. Short forms. The I is as good as interest. RB is nothing but redemption value. Now here we are going to redeem the debenture after specified time. Therefore, you will be having a redemption value in this formula. NP as usual. NP means the amount of debenture, the amount which you have received from debenture holder at the time of issue. N is nothing but number of years. For how many number of years companies are issuing the debenture? Maybe as I told you, debenture can be redeemed after 5 years. The number of years will be 5 years. Debenture redeemed after 10 years. Number of years would be 10 years, and so on. So the formula would be I stand for interest, RD stand for redemption value. At what? For example, if the companies are going to redeem the debenture at par, so my redemption value would be ₹100. If the companies are going to redeem the debenture at 10% premium, so my redemption value will be 110. And if the companies are going to redeem the debenture at 10% discount, so my redemption value would be 90. Now, same here, over here also, here we are going to add only one thing, that is a tax. What is T stand for? T stand for is tax. Now, again, let's see the solve problem. In case of if the debentures are redeemed. Now, suppose the company issue 8% debenture at a face value of ₹100, which is going to be redeemed after 5 years at 10% premium. Hence, we are going to redeem the debenture at 10% premium. Calculate the cost of debt before and after tax. Assume the tax rate is kitna percent? 40%. Let's see the formula. Now here we are going to calculate cost of debt before tax as well as after tax. Let's see the formula. KD before tax is equal to I plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon 2 whole bracket into 100. Whereas what is the face value of debenture? The face value of debenture is ₹100. So how you are going to calculate interest? I is equal to interest. Debenture rate of interest is 8%. So 100 into 8%, this will give me ₹8 as an interest. NP is nothing but net proceed. Here we have issued a debenture at face value. And what is the face value of debenture? The face value of debenture is 100. So my face value of net proceed would be 100. And what is my redemption value? Redemption value, if you read the question, the debentures are redeemed at 10% premium. So face value is 100 plus 10% premium, 100 plus 10%, this will give redemption value 110%. And as we are going to redeem the debenture after 5 years, so my number of years would be 5. So let us see how the calculations are done. KD before tax is equal to 8 plus interest plus what is my RB? 110 minus 100 upon 5 upon 110 plus 100 upon 2 whole bracket into 100, and this will give me KD before tax, that is how much? 9.538%. So this is a simple example of cost of debt before tax if they are redeemable. Let's see the same example with after tax. Now this is the same question after tax. As we know, our taxable cost in the given problem, it is 40%. So here we are going to just deduct the tax, that is how much percent? Only 40%. But let's see the formula. The formula is KD after tax is equal to I1 minus T plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon 2 whole bracket into 100. Whereas I will remain same as rupees 8, NP will remain same as rupees 100, RB will remain same 110 as we are going to redeem them at 10% premium, and number of year 5. Just one thing is added over here, that is a tax. Right? Now, so what is the form? How they are solved is the KD 8 1 minus 0.40 plus 110 minus 100 into 100 upon 5 upon 110 plus 100 upon 2 whole bracket into 100, and this will give me KD after tax how much? 36.4761%. So this is just two solved example of redeemable debt before tax and after tax. So this is what we have discussed in case of debenture, if debentures are redeemable and if debentures are irredeemable. Let's see again, go to the formula. Cost of debt, we are having two types of debt. One is irredeemable and second is redeemable. Irredeemable, again we are having two cases. What are two cases? Before tax and after tax. Now in case of irredeemable, what is the formula for before tax? That is KD is equal to I upon NP into, what is NP? What is net proceed? The amount we actually received from debenture holder at the time of issue. And what is KD after tax? KD after tax is equal to I 1 minus T upon NP into 100. Same with redeemable debt. What is the formula for redeemable debt? Again here also we will be having two calculation, before tax as well as after tax. What is the formula for before tax? That is KD is equal to I plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon 2 whole bracket into 100. And after tax we are just going to deduct tax from interest and other thing will remain same. So this is how company calculate the cost of debt. Now what is the purpose of calculating the cost of debt? We'll see later on. That is at the end of the part. Now let us see how we are going to calculate the cost of preference shares. Now as you know, preference shares, they are the own funds. And they are invested only in dividends. That's all. They are investing in preference shares just for fixed rate of dividend. Now let us see how we are going to calculate cost of preference shares. Now cost of preference shares will be denoted as K. As we have denoted cost of debt as KD, so here also we are going to denote cost of preference share as KD. K stand for cost and P stand for preference shares. Right? Now here also, now let me know preference dividend is paid before tax or after tax? After tax. So here we won't have a concept of before tax and after tax. So whatever the KD we are going to calculate, it is only after tax. Are you getting? Now let's see. Now here we will be having two concepts. We are having two type of preference shares. One is irredeemable preference shares, and second is redeemable preference shares. Irredeemable means whose payments are made at the winding up of the company, and redeemable means whose payments are made after a specific period of time. So here we won't have concept of before tax and after tax. Whatever the KP we are going to calculate, it will remain after tax only. Now, how we are going to calculate KP in case if the preference shares are irredeemable? The formula would be what? KP is equal. Now instead of interest, we are going to get preference dividend. So preference dividend is denoted by what? P. So now entire formula will remain same, but instead of I, we are going to write P. Is it right? Now what is the formula? PD upon NP into 100. Whereas KP is nothing but cost of preference. PD is nothing but preference dividend. Now here also we are going to calculate preference dividends on face value. Dividend हो, preference dividend हो, equity dividend, debenture interest, everything we are going to calculate on face value itself. And what is NP? NP is nothing but let's see it. Redeemable. Redeemable. Again the formula would be here we are going to redeem the preferentials after a specific period of time. So here we are having what? Here we will be having redemption value. The entire formula again remains same as we did in redeemable debenture. What will be the formula? Instead of I, here we are going to write what? P plus RB minus NP upon 2 upon full bracket upon what? RB plus NP upon 2 into what? Into. Are you getting? So there are the two possibilities, that is cost of preference in case of irredeemable preferentials and in case of redeemable preferentials. So what is the KP? What is the KP in case of redeemable? That is PD plus RB minus NP upon N upon RB plus NP upon 2 whole bracket into 100. And what about irredeemable preference? KP is equal to PD upon NP into 100. Now let's see the example. We'll see the examples how we are going to calculate KP if the preferentials are irredeemable and KP if the preferentials are redeemable. Now let's see that one example. Now company issued 10%, 12% preferentials. 12% preferentials of rupee 100 each. At what? At possibilities. Again there will be possibility. Possibility 1, 10% premium. B, 10% discount. And third possibility at calculate what? Calculate cost of. Now here we are going to learn how companies are going to calculate cost of preference under three possibilities. Now let us see. What is the formula? The formula will remain common. What is going to change is only net proceeds. What is the formula? That is KP. As I told you, it will always remain after tax. Formula is that is PD upon NP into whereas now what is PD? Preference dividend. PD is preference dividend, and we are going to calculate dividend on face value. And what is my face value? 100. And what is my rate of dividend? 12%. So 100 into 12%, my preference dividend will be rupees 12. Right? What is my net proceed? NP is called as net proceed. Net. Now here we are taking which example? Now here we are going to take the first possibility. If the debenture are issued at 10% premium. Now what will be the net proceed? 100 rupees is my face value. What will be my premium? Rupees 10. Then what will be my net proceed? Rupees 110. Without it now. So how we are going to calculate KP? We are going to calculate KP, that is 12 upon 110 into 100. And this will give me what? This will give me cost of preference in case if the debentures are issued at 10%, and my cost of KP would be 10.90%. Same way, if the debentures are issued at what? If the debentures are issued at 10%. Again, now here what is going to change? Only one. That is that everything will remain same. Let us see if debenture issued at 10%. Preferentials. Issued at 10%. 10% discount. What is going to change? Only one. Other thing will remain same. So here my net proceed will be how much? So net proceed is equal to rupees how much? 100 rupees my face value. We are going to deduct rupees 10 as a discount. So my net proceed would be 9. So how we are going to calculate KP? How are you going to calculate KP? The formula would be dividend. What is my preference dividend? My preference dividend is rupees 12. What is my net proceed? 90 into what? 100. So it will be what? 12.90. It will use me cost of preference 13.33. Is it okay? So this is how we are going to calculate cost of preference in case if the debenture, if the preferential are issued at 10% discount. And same way, if the preferential issued at par, it is third possibility at par. What will be the formula? The formula would be KP is equal to, what is my dividend? 12. What will my net proceed now? My net proceed will be 100. Why? Because here I am issuing the preferential at par. So companies are going to receive how much amount? 100 rupees upon 100. This will give me what? 12. So this is how companies are calculating cost of preference if the preferentials are irredeemable. Let's see now. I have a solved example for cost of preference in case if the preference are redeemable. Let's see the solved example of cost of preference if they are irredeemable. Let us example. Suppose a company issue 8% preferentials at a face value of ₹100 and redeemable after 5 years at a premium of 10%. Calculate cost of preference. As I told you, here we are going to calculate cost of preference and that will be after tax. There is no concept of before tax. Why? Because we pay the preference dividend always after tax. Now what is the formula? The formula is KP is equal to PD plus RD minus NP upon N upon RD minus NP upon 2 into 100. Whereas what is PD? And what is my face value? My face value is 100. Rate of dividend 8%. So my amount of preference dividend would be as it is shown. What is my net proceed? My net proceed, as I am issued the debentures of preferentials at face value, so my net proceed will be ₹100. What is my redemption value? It is clearly specified in the question that it is issued at a premium of 10%. My face value is 100 plus 10%, that is 10. The redemption value would be 110. The number of years would be 5 years, and the preferentials are redeemed after 5 years. So let us put in the formula the same value. We are going to put as the KP is equal to 8 plus 110 minus 100 upon 5 upon 110 plus 100 upon 2 whole bracket into 100, and this will give me cost of preference 9.5238%. So this is how we are going to calculate what? Cost of preference. Cost of preference if the preference are redeemable. Is it okay? So here we wind up with the cost of preference part. So let's again revise the cost of preference. How are you going to calculate cost of preference? Here we are having two categories. One, if the preference are irredeemable and if the preference are redeemable. In case if the preference are irredeemable, formula would be KP is equal to PD upon NP into 100. And if the preferentials are redeemable, formula would be KP is equal to PD plus RD minus NP upon N upon RD plus NP upon 2 whole bracket into 100. So this is how we are going to calculate what? Cost of preference in case if they are redeemable as well as irredeemable. So here we have completed how many parts? We have completed 2 parts. One is KD, that is cost of debt, and KP, that is cost of preference. And we'll come to the next part. That is the last part, how companies are going to calculate cost of equity. As you know, equity is a own fund, right? And their dividends are not fixed. The dividends are depend upon the profitability of the company. If the company is having profit, company will be receiving dividend. Equity holder will be receiving dividend. If not, then we won't. Now let's see how we are going to calculate cost of equity. Now cost of equity will be denoted by KE. Now what is K? K is called as cost and E is denoted by equity. Now as I told you, dividend in case of equity is not guaranteed. So here we are going to calculate cost of equity in 2 parts. First is, one is called as dividend method. If they are getting dividend, we are going to apply dividend method. And second method is earning method. Now again in case of dividend method, there are 2 models. One is called as dividend model and second one is called as dividend growth model. Dividend growth model. And here we are having only one, that is a earning method. You can call every method as earning model. Now, here we are having three formulas. You can say dividend model, dividend growth model, and earning method. Now, how we are going to calculate KE in case dividend model? The formula would be, now in case of KD, we have denoted interest by I. In case of preference, we have denoted preference dividend by PD. Let we will denote equity dividend by capital D. It's capital D. Upon what? Upon NP into 100. Now here also we are having two possibilities. Here also we are having two possibilities. If the companies are issuing the share for a first year, here we are having two concepts: first year and subsequent. Subsequent means other than first year. Subsequent. In first year, the formula would be KE is equal to D upon NP into 100. But in case of subsequent year, might be in second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, the formula would be, that is KE is equal to D upon MP. What is MP? That is market price. So whenever companies are whenever we are going to calculate KP for subsequent year, the formula would be D upon NP. NP into 100. It's NP, market price. But in first year, we are going to write NP, that is net profit. Now same formula is carried over here, but what we are going to add is growth. Because here the dividend is not fixed. If the company is having maximum profit, we will be getting more dividend. If the company is earning reasonable profit, we will be getting reasonable dividend. But if the company is having no profit, we won't be getting any dividend. The formula would be the same formula for first year and again for subsequent. Now what is the formula for first year? The formula for first year is KE is equal to D, capital D, as we have denoted capital D for equity dividend upon what? NP. So whenever we talk about what? Whenever we talk about net percent into what? 100 plus. Now here we are going to add what? What is D? D is called as a growth. The same formula will be carried over here also. This KE is equal to what? D upon NP into 100 plus G. Right? So whenever we are having dividend in the problem, we are going to see whether the problem is based on dividend model or whether the problem is based on dividend growth model. If the growth is not specified in the problem and dividend is given the problem, we are going to follow this formula. Right? Again now in case if there is only dividend, there is no growth. So how we will understand whether we are going to follow the formula, we are going to follow K, we are going to calculate K for first year, subsequent year. If the market price or the quoted price is not specified, it is very clear we are going to calculate cost of equity for first year. If they are specified market price or quoted price in the problem, we are going to follow which formula? That is the first subsequent formula. Instead of NP, we are going to use what? MP. And same what? Instead of growth, whenever we will be having growth, just we are going to add plus D and plus D in first year as well as subsequent. Now, sometimes it happens like companies are not earning reasonable profit. Companies are not earning reasonable profit. So, in a problem, they won't be giving you dividend. They won't be giving you dividend. So, they will be giving you what? Earning per share. You know, EPS, yes. Formula for EPS is net profit after tax minus preference dividend upon number of equity. Yes. Now, whenever in the problem, there is no equity dividend, but they are specified earnings. So, what we are going to do is, we are going to follow the formula, that is K is equal to E upon P into 100. Now what is E? Where is E is called as a earning and P is called as a price. Yes. And when this formula is followed, only when there is no dividend given in the problem. If no dividend is given in the problem, under 1% there will be earnings given in the problem. So this is the formula what we are going to do in case of dividend model, dividend growth model and earning model. Whenever you are going to calculate what? We are going to calculate cost of equity. Now let's revise again the formula, then we will come to the example. Right? Now, suppose in the problem, they have given a dividend, only dividend. They have not specified growth. So it is very clear, since dividend is given the problem, so we are going to follow which formula? We are going to follow dividend method. But under dividend method, which formula? Is it dividend model or dividend growth model? Dividend model. Why? Because the growth is not given in the problem. Now again there is a question, other question, whether we are going to calculate KE for first year or whether we are going to calculate KE for subsequent. Then we have to find that whether in a problem market price is given or not. If it is not given, then we are going to write NP, and if it is given, then we are going to write NP. Same way, if the growth is specified along with dividend, it means we are going to calculate KP by dividend growth model. What is the formula for first year? Formula for the first year will be KE is equal to D upon NP into 100 plus G. What is G stand for? G stand for growth. In case of subsequent year, KE is equal to D upon NP into 100 plus G. Is it fine? Let's see the example how we are going to calculate cost of equity in case under dividend method and the earning method. Now, let's see the example, practical solved example. A company offered for public subscription. Equity share of rupee 10. What is the face value? 10. At a premium of 10. It means it is very clear. Companies are issuing equity share at 10% premium. The company paid 5% of issue price as underwriting commission. Underwriting commission, this is called as a flotation cost. Flotation cost, I hope might be knowing, whenever companies are going for a fresh issue, they may appoint underwriters for taking the guarantee on behalf of company, right? So companies are liable to pay what? Underwriting commission. And this is the cost of net proceeds. So we are going to take the underwriting commission from net underwriting commission. And what is the rate of dividend expected by shareholder is 15%. Now let me know, in this problem we are having dividend, right? So we are going to follow which method? Are we going to follow dividend method? Are we going to follow dividend method or dividend growth method? The dividend model. So what is the formula? The formula would be D upon NP into 100. Now what is my D? We are going to calculate D on D of what? Face value. D is nothing but what? Equity dividend. And what is my face value? 10. Company have issued a share at 10% premium. They have issued at 11 rupees. But we are going to calculate dividend on face value. My face value is 10. 10 into 50%. My dividend will be 1.5 per share. Now what is my net proceed? My net proceed is equal to face value 10. We are going to add premium of rupee 1. We will be getting issue price. We won't be getting net proceed. Why? Because again we are liable to pay what? Underwriting commission. Underwriting commission is stated as flotation cost. What is flotation cost? Flotation costs are those costs which are incurred at the time of fresh issue. It is incurred at the time of fresh issue. So we are going to take the flotation cost from issue price. As we have clearly specified in the problem, 5% of issue price. If nothing is specified about the flotation cost, nothing is specified. Now the question is, are we going to calculate face value or are we going to calculate issue price? We are going to calculate on issue price. If nothing is specified about flotation cost. What is flotation cost? It is a cost which is incurred at the time of issue. What is then how much net proceed will be getting? We will be getting 10.45%. So my K would be 1.5 divided by 10.45 into 100 is equal to what? Is 14.35%. So here we have solved the problem based on KE on dividend method. Let's see the other example. Now we are about to discuss Q. As I told you, the company may collect dividend, that is capital, either only from debentures. Company may collect the capital only from preference. Company may collect the capital only from equity. If the companies are collecting capital only from equity, then they are going to calculate only equity. If they are going to calculate collecting capital only from preference, then they are going to calculate only equity. If the companies are collecting capital only from debentures, then they are going to calculate only equity. So here for company, KD will itself be called as Q. Now what is Q? Q is nothing but overall cost of capital. Right? Now what is overall Q? Overall cost of capital. This Q is calculated only in case if the companies are collecting capital from more than one source. Like company collecting capital from equity and debenture. So here the capital is collected from two sources. So here companies are going to calculate Q. Companies are going to calculate what? Q. If the companies are collecting capital from equity and preference, again companies are going to calculate Q. But for calculating Q, let's see an example. Let's get an example. Companies are collecting capital from equity as well as preference. Less. So before calculating KO, first of all, company has to calculate cost of equity. As they are collecting capital from two sources, equity and preference. So first company is going to calculate what? Cost of equity. Then we have to calculate what? Cost of preference. That is cost of preference. Then we combine both the costs and then we'll be getting what? Equity. So how do we get KO? The formula for KO is that is total product upon total weight into 100. So this is just a formula for calculating composite cost of capital. So it is very clear. When we are going to calculate composite cost of capital, only when the companies are collecting capital from more than one source. But remember one thing, if companies are collecting capital from only equity, then KE is also called as KO. Are you getting? Yes. If companies are collecting capital only for debentures, then KD is also called as KO. Is it okay? Now, let's see, we are having a practical example on that. Companies have collected capital from how many sources? They have collected capital from 4 sources. Now remember one thing, they have collected capital from 4 sources. Equity share capital 4 lakh, retained earning 3 lakhs, preference shares 1 lakh and debentures 2 lakhs. And what is the cost companies are paying? It is 15.6, retained earning 15.0, preference is 10.5 and debenture 4.9. So these are the costs which is already given the problem. We are supposed to calculate individually as we have discussed earlier. Now we are given cost of equity 15.6. Then we are supposed to calculate by following either by dividend model formula, either by dividend growth model formula, either by earning method formula. Are you getting? Again they are given a retained earning. Now retained earning cost and the equity cost both are different. Sometimes what happens, they never give cost for retained earning. So in such case, whatever the cost we are having for equity, it will be same cost we will get for retained earning. But as they have given 15%, so we are going to take only 15% only. But suppose in case if they have not given the cost, then whatever the cost we are having for equity capital, the same cost we are going to consider for retained earning. So in case here there is no 15%, so we have taken what 15.6% what is there for equity, because retained earning is a part of equity structures. Right? Now the preference shares again 10.5 and again debenture is 14.5. This cost is already calculated over here, right? But while calculating WACC, it is now overall cost of capital is also called as WACC. It is also called as composite cost of capital. Now while calculating composite cost of capital, you are supposed to calculate all the costs. Always remember all the costs after tax. Now let's see the short example, that is sources, weight, after tax and product. As we know all the 4 sources, it is already given as a weight 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 1 lakhs and 2 lakhs. And let's see the after tax 4 lakh into 15.56. If company raise the capital from equity, how much companies are supposed to pay? 62,400. And if the company raises the fund from retained earning, how much cost they are supposed to pay? 45,000. Preference shares 10.5 is 10,500 and debenture 2 lakh into 4.5 it is 9,000. So what is my total product? That is, if companies are raising 10 lakhs from different sources, how much cost companies are liable to pay? It is 1 lakh 26,000. As you see is that equity we are having 15.6, 15 in case of retained earning, preference it is 10.5, debenture it is 4.5. But we take the average of all 4, then the KO will be called as 1 lakh 26 divided by 10 lakh into 100, and now our average cost will become what? 10.69%. This is how company calculate cost of capital. So now, while calculating cost of capital, it is very clear. You are going to take the cost only after tax. Is it okay? Now what is the purpose of learning this topic? As I told you in the beginning only, we are going to learn how to calculate cost of debt, cost of equity, cost of preference, and then combining all 3, we will be getting what? Total cost of capital. Now what is the first? Now whenever company want to invest in new project, obviously they require capital.
Yes.
Now I know I want to invest in project 2 and I know that I will be getting estimated return, for example 20%. So what will my ROI? 20%. This is an example. Now I have to raise the fund from the market. It may be from general public through equity preference, it may be through debenture holders. Now I have to find out, since I will be getting how much return? 20%. So I have to find out what will be my cost. So how am I going to find out cost? I am going to find out cost through WACC, which is also called as cost of capital. if my cost comes below 20%. If my cost comes below 20%. So in that case, company can think of raising the capital from that source. But if the cost is more than return, then company should not think of investing in business. Why? Because that business will be the loss making business. Why? Because the costs are more than returns. So let's see the analysis of what we have done on basis of all four formulas. Today's over. If the cost of capital is 10%, let us assume we have calculated as Q, as today's topic will be discussed. And how much return we are getting? 12%. This is estimated 12%. Now analyze, since return is greater than cost of capital, hence the investment should be done as it gives a net return of how much percent? 2%. And hence the cost of capital decision depends on return on investment. So company tries to get the lowest cost of capital to maximize the return. So that is only the purpose why we calculate the cost of capital. Thank you for listening patiently.
Thank you, sir.